Alright, and we are back here with Mac Attack. We're going to do some more retrieving work. Now, those of you that have been following along with his training videos, you've seen we've laid a lot of foundation. We've done some early retrieving, collar conditioning. We've got a dog that's bold and confident. And one of the more important things to look at with the retrieving aspect of things is the dog's mouth. So to begin with, they've got all their puppy teeth and there's no issue to play retrieving games, and then they start teething. And some dogs are affected by this more than others, but ultimately their mouth can be pretty sore, and it can condition either sloppier retrieving behaviors or a dog that maybe is going to start chewing more. Again, another sloppy behavior. But if you want to come up here and look, we're going to take a quick look at his mouth. This is another thing that's good to work on. But he's got all of his pretty permanent teeth in. Yeah. All of the pearly whites. Easy. And that's the important part to look at. He's just coming up on 6 months old. So we're going to be able to do a lot of videos here over the next week or two showing everything new that he is learning. He's at that stage in the game where he's a huge sponge, and we're going to be doing a lot. So today with Mac, we're going to teach him hello. We're gonna call him
a little bit of independence in the field is not a bad thing.
Good boy. We're running vibrate on the collar. Good. Mac. 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 Good. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do some dummy launcher work with him. He's good with hand-thrown bumpers, but using the dummy launcher incorporates gunfire, which he's already been introduced to, as well as longer marks. Now, they come out of this dummy launcher. We use the one made by DT Systems. They come out pretty hot. They're bouncing, or they travel at a really fast distance, which is difficult for them to mark to begin with. So when we do these first couple, we're going to actually set this up where Kat, who's running the camera, is going to hold on to Mac, and I'm going to step a little ways away from him and then shoot it out in front of him so that it bounces and rolls. It's going to make it easy for him to pick up on. As soon as I shoot, Kat will let Mac go and he can go make the retrieve and come back. As we progress through this process, we should be able to shoot them without having to hold on to him. And like all of his training sessions, he is still a young dog, so we're going to keep this relatively short. We'll do a couple warm-up retrieves to get him in that mindset of retrieving, and then we'll go right into shooting the dummy launcher for him. All right, ready? So with the pigeons, we start the whoa behavior. Okay, we'll get his focus. Ready? Come on. Whoa. Okay. As soon as he stops and stands there. Okay. Lots of smells. Yeah, hey. Ready? Hey. Hey. Ready? Up. Whoop. Up. A bouncing, rolling retrieve. We're going to hit that vibrate on the collar. Good. As he comes back, good boy. We start swinging him to our side. And it's okay that he dropped it at this point. Try and encourage a hold, but coming back to us is important. Swing him over to our side, praise him, tell him he's a good boy. Ready? Up. Give him another one. Good boy. Hitting vibrate as soon as he picks that bumper up. Good. Good. Yeah, now swing him around. Good boy. Much better. Yeah, much better. Good. Good. Alright, now we're going to do the first bumper that comes out of the launcher.
So I will call Mac over to me.
Now, you can see in the beginning of the training session, Mac is a puppy, right? So he was focused on the feathers and the grass and the smells and the everything else. And that's okay to just take a second. Don't get in a hurry. the more that you push things, the worse the situation is going to get. You're going to get frustrated. The dog's not going to understand what's going on because they're just a puppy. They get distracted. There's a reason that people talk about dogs' attention span like, ooh, squirrel. And you've got to take that in consideration, that is exaggerated with a puppy. So Mac is going to be ready. We want to make sure that we have his focus. I'm going to stand out in front of him and again shoot a bouncing, rolling, kind of like those retrieves just were.
And as soon as he's watching and that bumper leaves his hand, Mac gets to chase it. So Mac's looking, watching.
I'm probably going to throw the first one and shoot so that it's one more step in between this. Ready? Good boy. Good boy. As soon as he comes back, we've got the vibrate running. Good boy. Right here. Yeah. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Good boy. Good boy. All right, let's go ahead and do another one.
Mac.
That retrieve looked awesome.
Mac. Attaboy. He's like,
Call him to you.
Mac, here. Here. Good.
Good. So we're not focused in these retrieving sessions. We're not 100% focused at this point with him on everything has to be perfect. He is a puppy. We try and encourage that natural hold, and he does a pretty good job most of the time, but we don't really have a way to reinforce that. And the more that we've seen some people take the emphasis of putting it back in their mouth and holding it. It's not a fun process, and we want to keep this part of it fun. If you want to do a hold conditioning session with a 6-month-old puppy, that's not an issue. Let's just keep it separate from the actual retrieving game that we're playing outside. Now we're going to shoot one from the launcher this time. Make sure we have Max focus.
And then he's watching.
Ready? Ready? Up! Ooh, he's going to have to look for this one. Now, if he mismarks this or has trouble finding it, we've got a wind at our back, so it's going to cause him to have to push out farther in order to find the bumper, which he's doing. Good job. If your dog struggles to find the bumper, just go ahead and walk out there with him and help him look for it.
You brought it to me.
Mac, Mac, Mac. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do another one here. We're trying to do it without holding on to him. You can see how the progression is happening. We broke it down by throwing a couple to get him warmed up, throwing one with the gunfire, then shooting that bouncing, rolling shot. And today, all we're going to end up doing is shooting the ones that bounce and roll. Those are going to be easy for him to mark and pick up on. What you got? Huh? Ready? Back. Whoop. Good stop. I want to be a little bit further away from him than shooting it right next to him. This is pretty loud. And even though he's okay with gunfire, and we've introduced that, it still is, these bumper launchers are really loud, and even more loud than the blank pistols and the other things that we're using. So I don't want to shoot it right over top of him or right in front of him, as well as if he doesn't have a little more distance to see where the bumper's going, it'll go too fast in front of his face and he'll just stand there and look at me like, I didn't see what happened. So we're going to get set up like this right now. Whoop, whoop. Up. That situation was just about perfect. He stopped back over here, put enough distance between him and I that we could give him a successful situation. Mac, we got vibrate running again. Fumble. Good boy. Right here. Good. So this, good. Swinging him into a heel. Good boy. Good boy. Is going to be a great place to finish up. We've now introduced him to this dummy launcher. We'll use this a lot through his development process. In the next week or so, you will probably see another video even where he'll get to do this with other dogs, build kind of a competition in the retrieving. We use dummy launchers a lot because it helps to extend those marks and it helps their marking ability, as well as gets them retrieves that are further than what I can throw them. I can only throw a bumper 20 yards or 25 yards maybe. And that dummy launcher is a really cool tool to help extend those marks for these young puppies.
Plus it makes the game even more exciting because it adds the gunfire, which a lot of times these dogs get even more fired up and pumped up about the gunfire.
Absolutely. We'll be shooting a couple more videos here shortly. Like I said, he's in that stage where we can do a lot. Stay tuned.